And how's it going, guys and girls? Me, it's Uncle Kumagel, my channel, and yes, this is a continuation of episode 21. This episode will be quite short because I'm not sure when the light will go out again, so I'll try to be quick and end at least this day or make 1 or 2 days, and then it will be it. This will be a nightmare. Okay, look, none of this is your fault. She gently takes my hands in hers. A part of me thinks that who had had I made more of an effort with you back then, perhaps your definitely a part didn't cause me to be depressed. Truthfully, I don't really know why I developed depression. There's a lot I don't know about my condition, but one thing I know is that it doesn't really need a reason. That's what my doctor said the last time I tried therapy. So please, don't you ever think that you're somehow contributed to my depression, okay? You're like the polar opposite. When I'm with you, I'm happy. You make me feel like I'm actually worth something, even though my brain tries really hard to tell me that you're lying. Yeah, but that's in the present. What about in the past, when there were years where we did not hang out at all? Wait. Wait a bit. Yeah, I need to turn on the internet again. Ugh. I hate when the light goes out, because I cannot do my normal things. There we go. That's a good ass question. Okay. Oh, okay, let's see. I actually had this conversation with Monica once. It's normal for friendships to be like that, I think. You can go a long time without talking to someone, but if you reconnect with them and you can both get along, if nothing ever happened. Did anything really change? I pause upon hearing her words. I guess she does have a point, but I'm finding it hard to internalize. She reaches forward and strokes my face gently, lifting my chin up so we maintain eye contact. The way I see it, we get along just as well now as when we were kids. Besides, what happened in the past was was the past. If anything, the time apart made me appreciate the time I do spend with you even more. I'm glad you feel that way, Sayuri. I really am. It's just, you're going to therapy today made me realize that the reality of depression, and it made me reflect on how much I've been absent in your life. I didn't mean to spring this on you out of the blue like that, especially when you wanted to take your mind off therapy. It was pretty inconsiderate of me. It's okay. It really is. I'm just glad that we can talk these things out, you know. You've been really patient with me, so it's the least I can do for you. And I would much rather we talked about whatever bothers you than you bottling it up. After all, bottles are meant to be shared, right? Can't help but laugh. That was clever. If you say so. I do. Seriously, please don't blame yourself for anything, okay? I've been much happier ever since you came back into my life. Wouldn't have been able to go to therapy if you weren't with me. And like you said, I agree, it is a big step to take. There's a faraway look in her eyes as she ponders her next words. I would gone so many years thinking that this was something I would have to bear alone, but I have to admit, it's nice not having to go through this myself. She squeezes my hand. Besides, we can't really change the past, can we? Yeah, guess you're right. You really do have such a big heart, you know that? Nothing ever changed with you. And that's never going to change. It's moments like these that really bring about the warm, fuzzy feeling inside of me. I've never felt anything like this before, but it feels so right. Now, I think we have some jigsaws to collect. Of course, let's get back to the game, shall we? She reaches for the controller and starts playing once more. Within seconds, we're whisked away into a world of childhood memories. The feel of her warmth in my arms, the sound of her innocent laughter, and the smell of her hair. That little voice of guilt remains, but it's now easier to ignore. Right, super late already. And tomorrow is a school day as well. No fun. Tell me about it. Monday mornings are the absolute worst. Not even Sakurai can save them. I just want another break. We just had Christmas one. I know. Oh well, anyway, I should get going. Oh, leaving so soon? My attempt at pulling puppy dog's eyes causes her to laugh and shakes her head. Wait, late. I reach towards her and pull her into my embrace. In a playful attempt to stop her from leaving, I push her back down onto the sofa, wrapping my arms tightly around her body. Mwahaha, you've fallen in my grand trap. Now there's no escape. Ah, you've caught me. Whatever can I do? Nothing. My master plan is absolutely foolproof. Is it Sayuri-proof? What do you? Her lips meet mine, and immediately I'm taken away into another world. Man, it's almost scary how powerful the sensation is whenever we kiss. No fair. Are you complaining? If you prefer, I could just. Her tone is innocent and playful. Not kiss you again. Hey, I didn't say that. Okay, you win. But there's one thing you didn't prepare for. Oh, and what that could be? I quickly boop her on the nose. Boop. What? Surprise, sneaky boops aren't allowed. Oh, but surprise, sneaky kisses are. You had me trapped. It was just self-defense. So was my boop. This isn't over, meanie. Looking forward to our rematch then. I reach over and check my phone. It's almost midnight. As much as I would hate to admit, we probably should call it a day. Although, having said that, an idea just popped into my mouth. Okay, Siri, how about... why don't you stay tonight? Eh? Here? That way we can also make breakfast tomorrow morning before school. Oh, didn't think of that. Where would we sleep though? Well, I was thinking I could take the sofa and you could have my bed. Nah, there's no way I'm letting that happen. You can sleep with me. That's awkward silence for a second, made slightly comical by the fact Sayori hasn't realized the implications of her words. Yeah, that. Ah. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean it like that. You know what I meant. Anyway, I'm just gonna get my stuff from my place, and I'll be back in a second. Alright. After completing my bedtime preparations, I wearily slide into bed, thinking about the conversations that took place today. That's been a lot to take in, I suppose, ever since Siri became my girlfriend. There's always been nagging fear that I'm getting into something that's way beyond me. Going to therapy has helped dispel that worry though. Today was relatively smooth and I'm hoping that doesn't change. Faintly I hear the click of the front door, followed by footsteps. Just gonna get changed and I'll join you. Sorry, approach the bed and I can't help but notice how nice her legs look in those shorts. Won't you be cold in those pajamas? Nope, have it warm me up, remember? I'm suddenly very grateful that I have the blanket covering my body. She slides in next to me, pulling the blanket over herself. Slowly she inches over to me and positions herself so that the top of her head lies just below my chin. Resting her head on my chest, she looks up at me, moves in for a quick kiss and giggles. At such proximity I can hear her heartbeat. Her hands feel soft and warm against the fabric of my shirt. And she's incredibly warm, but it isn't overbearing in the slightest. On instinct I wrap my arms around her body and the rest wrap my face atop her hair. Good night, Siri. Plant a kiss on her forehead. Good night. Let's go. One more day won't hurt, right? Suddenly I'm pulled out of my sleep by what appears to be sobbing. As I slowly fight grogginess, I'm also aware of a slight dampness on my chest. I hate it when Siri has a nightmare. The feeling of powerlessness, the sound of her tears, the look of anguish on her face. It's always hit hard. Why can't you hear me? I need you. Come back, please, come back. Siri, gently shake her. Shh, Siri, it's okay, I'm here, it's okay. I hold as she carries on whimpering. She clings to me even harder, shaking with fear. I can only imagine what's going on inside her head now. I fumble for my phone. The blinding glare tells me that it's 7:01 a.m. Okay, it's me, Siri. You were just having a nightmare, don't worry, I've got you. I stroke her hair softly as her crying subsides. That was horrible. What happened? She takes a deep breath and composes herself. Everything was so dark. You, Yuri, Monica, Natsuki, you were all there. But whenever I tried to talk to you, it was like there was an invisible bubble around me. None of you could hear me, but there was this shadowy figure that kept talking to me. Fresh tears filled her eyes once more, and it kept saying horrible, horrible things. It told me that I was useless, that everyone would be so much better off if I wasn't around, that you would be much happier with Yuri, and that therapy is pointless, and I'm just fighting a losing battle. It's nothing more than a false hope, so no matter how hard I try to believe otherwise. She sniffles. Tried calling out to you, to the girls, to anyone. But it was just me and the voice, tormenting me, telling me everything that I've been trying so hard not to believe. It felt so real. Just when I thought things might have had a chance to being okay again. I hate this. Why can't I just be normal? And it's already 7. I'm sorry. I just can't go to school today. It's okay. Won't go either. Huh? What about? I couldn't care less about that. There's no way in hell that I'm going to leave you alone after what you just experienced. I can miss the odd day of school. It's fine. She opens her mouth to protest, but upon seeing the steely resolution on my face, she reluctantly obeys. I'll get you some water. Be back in a second. I don't know why I'm like this. Why is it that something as stupid as a little nightmare makes me feel this bad? Was hoping that finally there was a light at the end of the tunnel. But that was just naive of me, wasn't it? It's okay, you don't have to say anything. I know you might feel like you have to say some magical words to make me feel better, but all you have to do is listen. What really hurt me was the voice telling me that you would be much better off with you as your girlfriend. Trying really hard to believe that I'm a good girlfriend and that I'm worth your time, but those doubts are always there, in the back of my mind. I know you would never break my trust, but I just wish I could convince my stupid brain to see it the same way. And it's so unfair because I can't see how hard you're trying. Please believe me when I say I really appreciate you. But I'm just so scared that it might be all for nothing. What do you mean? Well, what if I never get better? What if I'm always going to be like this? My pieces are all broken. You're trying so hard to put them together, but what if you can't? What if you can't put them back together because some of them are gone? Don't have an answer for that. I hate feeling like this. Feeling like I've lost something that I'll never get back, no matter how good your support or how well therapy goes. I can't remember the last time I wasn't so tired. That's the worst part of depression, the exhaustion that never goes away. That's a awful reality. An exhaustion that sleep can never fix. The only good thing about sleep is that it's an escape from my mind, at least for a few hours. Well, when I don't have nightmares. And I'm just so tired of it all. Tears slowly start leaking down from her face once more. Her face looks utterly resigned. I wish that I could just wake up one day and actually have hope. She faces me with a sad smile, her cheeks glisten with tears. Actual genuine hope. I hope that maybe, just maybe, things might be okay. Just when I begin to think that could be true, days like this happens. I hate these days. I hate these days so much. Therapy is already hard enough, and these nightmares make me feel like what little progress I've made has been reset. All of the doubts that I tried so hard to keep in check break free, and they're merciless. I wipe away a few of her tears and gently grasp her hands in mine. We will get through this together, Siri, just like I said. I don't care how long it takes, or what we have to endure. That's a promise, but I'm never going to stop until we see this through. She looks away. Why is that? I never feel like I'm getting through to her. I have to try to stay positive for both of our sakes, even though seeing her like this is one of the most demoralizing things on the planet. No matter what, you'll never be alone in dealing with this. And if your pieces are broken, we'll create new ones. I can imagine how hard it is for you. Really? How can you possibly know what it's like, how I'm feeling? Exactly, you don't. You don't know what this feels like. The constant numbness, the constant feeling that no matter what you do, no matter what I do, this shadow will always be there. Crying myself to sleep, waking up in tears, having to fake everything because you're terrified that people will see the real you. But I've seen the real you, and you're still here, and you're still trying to help. I get it, I really do. I know you're trying to help, but it's hard to see your encouragement as anything more than just empty words. This isn't something you can fix just by saying the right stuff. She bursts into tears once more, as much as I wish it was. I scoop her into a hug. She tries to push me away initially, but I hold firm, holding her closer to my chest. She eventually gives in and sobs unrestrainedly in my chest. I'm scared. I whisper softly in her ear as I gently stroke the back of her head. I know, Siri. I'm scared as well. We both fall silent, with the only sounds permeating the room being the sound of her anguished cries. Siri, she mumbles into my chest. I'm sorry if I say the wrong things. I just don't know what the right things to say and do are. This whole thing is just totally alien to me, and after you told me that my words are pretty much empty, well, I'm starting to doubt everything. She whistles slightly and she bites her lips. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. It came out much harsher than I intended. I want to believe what you say, I really do. I know that I shouldn't feel jealous and that I shouldn't compare myself to other girls. I want to believe all of the lovely, reassuring things you say to me. But I can't. I know that what you're saying makes sense. It's just internalizing it a whole, but just internalizing. It's a whole other story. It's not your problem. It's all on me. Being unable to get over this stupid thing. Depression isn't just a stupid thing, though. I know, it's much more than that. I just can't help how angry it makes me. I just want to be normal like everyone else. It's like I'm not in control of my own body. The depression is the one that chooses my mood for the day. It chooses how I react to things and what I say. Like the day you made me breakfast, I really wish that I was appreciative from the start instead of being irritated that you were in my room so early. It's unfair, and I keep going on and about it, and don't ever apologize for venting about your depression, Theory. I know that my words probably don't sound as reassuring and helpful as I want them to be, but one thing that will never change will be my willingness to listen. You've been battling this alone for so long, so it's only fair that I can be a shoulder to cry on. Problem shared is a problem. A problem shared is a problem halved, right? Well, it's obviously not that simple. Not that simple in this case, but it's something. She snipples and nods slowly. It does help to at least be able to talk about it. That's something then. Having you around as much as I don't think I deserve your support, it does make a difference. That makes me happy then. Really? Yeah, might not be a huge help, but if it's still some help, surely. She pauses to reflect. Yeah, I guess so. She nods and shifts herself so that her head lies on my lap. Once she settles, I start up sentimentally stroking her hair. Her hair. My mom told me there would be days like this. Hmm? Oh well, back in November after our fight, I was a bit lost, didn't know who to turn to. So I asked my mom for advice. What did she say? She said, if you date someone with depression, you'll have good days like the ones we've had before, and bad days like today, I guess. Sarah falls silent once more. She looks a little reflective and thankful. Doesn't seem I to mind that I told my mom about her condition. Does she have depression herself? Nope, she dated someone who had it in the past. It's kinda spooky how accurate the advice was. What was it? She told me about how important it is to be patient and understanding for a start, which you have been. Eh, I don't know. I still have no idea what I'm doing, and I don't really know if I'm saying or doing the right things. Although I thought I was, but after you told me that my words are just empty, I'm starting to stop everything. A lot of regret flashes across her face. Sorry, didn't mean that. As for what it's worth, you've been a great boyfriend. It's just not fair on you. Your heart has always been in the right place, and you put up with my moods. Well, that's reassuring to hear at least. And all I can do is return a snap at you for the smallest of things. I knew it wasn't going to be easy. Mom did warn me. And being honest with you, it's times like these that make me realize just how serious depression is. But I'm glad I got to wake up calls sooner rather than later. Neither of us really know what we're doing, but at least we have each other, right? It's also our first relationship, so we're really been fighting an uphill battle from the start. I've definitely enjoyed my time with you so far, and you think I'm a good boyfriend, so we could be doing a lot worse. I don't know, could we? I feel like our relationship has just been you putting up with me. Do we have a future together? Her words cut deep, knowing that she has these doubts, especially this early on. What do you think? Honest question. I don't know. Do you want us to have a future together? Yes, so do I. But what about when we start our lessons here in school? Or when we leave school? What if we go to university and I don't? What if... Siri, listen to me. Let's just take our relationship one day at a time, okay? You could probably drive yourself crazy by trying to predict the future. Do I know if we'll be together in a year? Truthfully, I don't. I have no clue what if life will be like after school, but there's no point worrying about it now, because it doesn't get you anywhere. Yeah, you're right. She gives a short, humorless laugh. I'm glad that one of us can think rationally. Nah, remember how I thought we would let the spirit loose in the classroom back in October? That was the polar opposite of rational. Yeah, I really enjoyed that day. It was really nice to dress up and in silly costumes and scare each other. A real throwback to our childhood. Definitely a highlight of here, along with Christmas. There's something really satisfying about seeing someone light up when they unwrap a present you've got them. You have the photo you gave me in my room. I have the photo you gave me in my room. By the way, it always makes me smile whenever I see it. Even when you're not physically around, you still make me happy. Please don't forget that. Thank you. I'll do my best. Yay! Things are working out just fine. Let's see what today holds for us. And then I'll finish, because I'm afraid that lights will go off and I'll be fucked again. It's been about 2 weeks since that nightmare caused Sayuri to have a breakdown. By this point in our relationship, I've really started to see what Mom warned me about. Didn't realize how bad the bad days would be. We've had a few therapy sessions since, as I was hoping the sessions went smoothly. Well, as smoothly as they could be, I guess. Along with her doctor prescribing her antidepressants, the therapist has given Sayuri a diary, which she is meant to use by recording her happy and sad thoughts. By recording her sad thoughts, he is working with her to see whether those thoughts are supposed by facts. Are supported by facts, basically trying to challenge her depressive thinking. Not an expert, but it looks for me like that's the kind of therapy she needs. It's not been as simple as it might seem, but to me it looks like steady but sure progress is being made. To say the least, it's a huge relief. She's also tentatively mentioned that she would be like to start going to the sessions alone, although she isn't quite at that stage yet. She said she would see how she feels by the time that next one comes about. Still, it's been interesting to see what therapy really entails. Definitely an eye-opening experience. On the other hand, I think the other club members' girls are starting to get a little more suspicious. There have been a few days where Sayori's depressive moods became a little more apparent in school and they were concerned for her. Still, Sayori maintained her walls. I felt bad about how in the dark the other girls were, but it isn't my position to say what's going on. Hopefully Sayori will be comfortable telling them in her own time. Also, given it's now February, I've had to pay a little more attention to school matters, namely the end of the semester next month. Sakurai has also been talking to students about their future plans. It's scary to think that next year is my final school year. He wants to see me after the lesson ends. So, for what feels like the first time in forever, I've started to think about what I want to do after I leave school. The bell rings, he calls me over. You have the same look that I had on my face when my homeroom teacher wanted to talk to me about my post-school plans. I appreciate his use of humor in this situation. He's always been efficient at helping me feel at ease, especially in these situations where I feel out of my depth. If you don't know what you want to do, I wouldn't worry about it so much. After all, you're just a second here. But you do have another year to figure it out. Having said that, do you have any idea at all? To be honest with you, sir, I haven't really given it much thought at all. The past 5 months have been really, well, they haven't really given me much time to think about. Well, let's try to form another angle. Let's start from another angle. Does higher education interest you at all? Going to university? Or would you perhaps be more inclined towards finding a job as soon as you leave school? I paused for a moment to think, trying to recollect what my parents used to tell me when we had this kind of conversation. University sounds good, although I'm not sure what I would study. He nods approvingly. You'll definitely find it easier to land a job if you have a degree under your belt. That's good to know. That's good to know then. All I have to do is pick a subject, I guess. I know it can be a little daunting, especially when you aren't sure. My advice would be go with a subject you enjoy and do well in. Far from me to be beast, but you're a rather talented historian. I chuckle. What can you do with history degree, though? The skills you get from history degree can transfer to a lot of other fields. A lot of historians that I knew went into journalism, academia, teaching, or even the law. Obviously, I'm not beast in any way, but history is the best subject to study. My science teacher says otherwise, so he grumbles to himself. Those haughty scientists, if they could just pry themselves away from their Bunsen burners and glass vials for 5 minutes. Ahem. Anyway, it's good that you've at least got a vague idea of what you want to do. There's no rush or anything. Just take some time and think about what you really like to study at the university. We can always have another discussion later. I'll do, sir. Thank you. With the conversation over, I made my way to the club room for lunch. Hey guys. Asuka gives me a curt nod while Sayori gives me a warm smile. The door opens once more and Yura walks in. Sayori already weak smile wavers even further. She doesn't dislike her by any means, but it's clear that the jealousy is still an issue. I sig inwardly. I have no clue on how to solve that issue, given I don't think Sayori is willing to disclose her depression with Yuri. As I pull out my foot, I notice that Monica has barely greeted me. Her face is glued to her laptop with a terse look on her face. Everything alright, Monica? She finally drags her eyes off the screen and looks at me. It seems like she's only just realized that I'm talking to her. Yeah, sorry, I had to sort out some important emails. How are you? It's easy to spot from a mile of that smile is forced. I decided not to push it. Not bad, not bad. Sakurai was just talking to me about what my plans are after high school. I think it's common practice for all the teachers to ask their students given their second years. And the end of the semester isn't so far away. Heh, bet that was fun. We don't have to bother with that just yet. Lucky. I just don't really know what I want to do. I told him I want to go to the university, but I can't really decide what I want to do. Starting to realize that I probably should have given this more thought. That's a little responsible. Your future holds so much weight and time flies by so quickly. My face heats up a little from embarrassment. She's right, of course, but it seems like her judgment is coming out of nowhere. I look at Sayuri, half expecting her to jump into my defense. She doesn't, though instead, she idly pokes at the spot at the table. The other girls look curiously at us. They can sense that something's up. Don't want to draw so much attention to Sayuri, so I try to deflect their curiosity. What about you, Yuri? Any ideas? I decided that I want to study Japanese literature at university. Fitting choice. Yuri smiles to herself. I suppose it comes to a surprise to no one. I can imagine it would be an exciting yet daunting experience. University? Yes. On one hand, there's an opportunity to meet many like-minded people, all with the same passion. Yet there's so much independence, especially if you opt for a university far from home. And with that independence comes a lot of responsibility, and I would imagine a fair degree of uncertainty. Who knows what life will be like for all of us when we've left school? My question hangs in the air as the conversation lapses into silence. Monica mutters something under her breath. How about you, Monica? I would imagine you've got a lot of choice given how you excel in pretty much every subject. She finally closes the laptop, lit with a cig. My parents have been hounding me with the exact same question for months now. I'll probably take over their business. There's a hint of what sounds like bittersweet in her voice. Granted, I know very little about her life. Well, at least anything beyond surface level, so it's a little baffling. Well, we'll have to wait and see. An awkward smile descends upon the room. Clearly, it isn't just me who detected Monica's slightly hostile tone. Luckily, Yuri breaks the silence. Are you alright, Yuri? You've been rather quiet. Yeah, that's not like you at all. Even Monica glances over to Sayuri's direction. Oh, I'm fine. Just kinda tired, that's all. Don't worry about me. The other girls don't look so convinced in the slightest, but they don't have much chance to press her as the lunch bell rings. I remember being in their position last semester, and boy, do I not invite them. As the end of the school day rolls around, I find myself wandering down the corridor waiting for Sayuri to finish. Along the way I bump into Monica. Hey! She keeps her voice low and quickly looks around before speaking. I can tell that she's going to ask me. Is Sayuri okay? She'll be fine, just dealing with some stuff, that's all. Compared to the last time she was acting off in school, you seem a lot less worried. That was when I knew less about her. She knows her eyes at me. Guess what I said must have come across a pretty cryptic. Okay, well let me know if we can help in any way, okay? We? The other club members, we are all friends after all, don't forget. Oh, of course. What stupid question. It's appreciated. I'll see what Sayuri thinks. Okay then. I'll see you later. Well, I think Sayuri is definitely more convincing than I am. She walks off and after a couple of moments, Sayuri comes out of the class. Sorry I'm late. It's okay, let's go. Do you know what was up with Monica? Funny you mention, because you just asked me what was up with you. Oh, what did you tell her? Just that you were dealing with some stuff. Didn't give any specifics. They're worried about you though. Have you considered telling them? No, not really. They're your friends, Yuri. They know something's up. I know. Can see that this isn't the topic Sayuri wants to discuss any further. Anyway, no, I don't know why Monica seemed so snappy at lunch. She mentioned her parents, so they're probably being a bit overbearing. It must be difficult to maintain the model student image when you're at the top. The only place to go from there is down. Juggling academics with sports and other extracurricular must be really stressful. Don't know how she does it, to be honest. I felt a little sorry for Natsuki though, the conversation kinda excluded her. I know for sure that when I was a first year, post-school plans hadn't even crossed my mind. Yeah, thought that too. Well, We'll make sure to include her next time. Good shout. After dumping our things inside, I pull out my phone. Really should have talked to Monica a while ago, but I'm pretty sure she's gonna make me feel bad about it. Hey, Mom. It's not Monica, it's Mom, isn't it? I really should have talked to Mom a while ago, yeah. Hey, nice of you to remember you have a mother. I winced slightly, I knew this was coming. I know, I really should have called you earlier. It's not that I didn't want to or anything. Anyway, Siri is with me right now. Do you want to say hello? I would love to. I pressed a button on my phone which transformed the call into a video call. My goodness, is that really you, Siri? Last time I saw you were barely a teenager. Siri laughs shyly. I guess I'm putting her on the spot here a little. Hi, it's real nice to see you again. And you, dear, I hope Lucky has been treating you well. I should see her desperate look. This could be a perfect opportunity to enact some revenge for all the times I teased her. Of course, he's been really good to me. That's lovely to hear. Looks like my little prince has truly matured. We share a laugh as I turn slightly red from embarrassment. Mom, really? Little prince? I'm sorry, darling. I'm just so proud of you. Well, at least we've established that Sayuri is gonna be calling me for the next few days. They continue to giggle at my expense. He's always been like this, hasn't he? Quick to tease others, but once they do it to him, he gets all huffy. Sorry, do not take her side. You're my girlfriend. She's trying and failing to keep a straight face. Okay, no more teasing. Sorry, I just had to get you back for not calling me for so long. How did your December exams go? I briefly described my results along with Sakurai's comment. Well, that's reassuring to hear. I was worrying how you would fare living by yourself. So I'm glad to hear that your academics are going well. Sakurai has a point though. Your grades in math could be better, young man. Sir, you're going to have to knock him into shape. He's always been bad with discipline. A snort in this region. And you're asking Sayuri of all people to help me with that? Hey, Mom sings dramatically. Sorry, Sayuri. He can be really mean sometimes, can't he? Must have got that from his father. That's not what sounds. Things have been very rocky between Mom and Dad since the divorce. Oh, by the way, I've got some good news. We're almost finished dealing with this particular client, and I have no one else to deal with for a week. So I'm hoping to come and see you soon. My heart races as much as I've loved being able to basically live with Sayuri. Seeing Mom again after so long would be really nice. That's awesome, Mom. I'm really looking forward to it. Oh, I've been meaning to ask you. She got struck by the sound of someone calling her. It sounds pretty urgent. No, I was hoping I would have more time to talk to you. Sorry, darling, I'm going to have to go. We'll catch up properly, all three of us, when I come to visit you. Don't forget, Valentine's Day is coming up really soon. I want to hear all about how you've been treating Sayuri like a princess for it. She laughs softly and waves goodbye. I forgot how nice your mom is. Yeah, she always been such a good parent. She was a lifesaver back in November after your fight. You're such a mommy's boy. Hey, it's a good thing. It's really cute. I get the feeling you're mocking me, but because I know I can't win this battle, I'll reluctantly concede. The Ice Queen wins again. You're a real clown, you know that? True, but I'm your clown. I preferred the one from the horror movie we watched with Yuri. Such a charmer. The rest of the day passes by relatively quickly. After finishing our homework, we spent the evening kicking back with some video games. This has been our routine for a while now. Sayuri coming over, we finish our homework and then relax. It's simple but effective. I'm glad that we're both happy just to sit back and relax in each other's company. Then again, Sayuri has never been in high maintenance kind of girl. Watching her now with the sky blue eyes narrowed in concentration. God, I love her. Is now the right time to say it though? What if she doesn't feel the same way? That would be a little awkward to say the least. Nah, now isn't the time. I was curious, Sayuri, what do you want to do after you finish school? You didn't say anything at lunch. Don't really know, she says. Although, I thought that going into therapy might be a good idea, but... No, forget it. It's a stupid idea, huh? It's not stupid at all. It is. I don't know if I Don't know if I would even be any good at it. Well, you could be a therapist, but therapist with depression is something you don't see very often. Not to say it's stupid, but it's not something you do see very often. Just that. If I can't help myself, how can I help the others? You're good at keeping the spirits high in the club at least. People appreciate having you around, and it's definitely more comfortable an atmosphere when you're there. It's one thing to keep peace in high school club, but helping people with really big problems as a therapist, you know the really horrible things that people have to live with. It's a whole other story. Have you mentioned it to your teacher at least? They might be able to point you in the right direction. She shrugs nonchalantly. I haven't, no. Truthfully, I haven't thought about the future much. Well, at least we're alike in that sense, although our reasoning for it is rather different. We've got plenty of time though, right? Yeah, I guess we do. The conversation trails off into silence. I suppose thinking about the future is quite difficult for Sayuri, so I make a mental note not to push it. Anyway, it's getting late. Let's call it a night. Can I be the big spoon tonight? Not sure how that would work, but sure. And this will be it for today, because I'm worried that light will go off again. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like, comment what you thought, comment down below what you thought of it, and well, I'll see you guys in the next episode. See you on the flip side. Goodbye, pals.